I don't know what that sound is, but that is loud, and I don't like it. What's up, guys? Sean here. So today I am going to make a change in my YouTube channel, and I'm going to try out these different cameras. So, little story. I started out my YouTube channel on a camcorder from Sony, and then I moved to the Canon M6, which was a 1080p camera, but had beautiful dual pixel autofocus. And I've had some serious issues with so here's a story, guys. So I started out my channel with a Sony camcorder. It was nice and crisp and it was 4K. And then I decided 4K wasn't important. So I moved to a Canon M6, which was tiny, EOS M6. So it's a little small mirrorless camera. But it only did 1080p. But the focusing and the color was beyond compare. I loved everything about the focusing and the compare and the color science. So my dual pixel AF in my Canon M6 allowed me to just turn on the camera and record. And then what I ended up doing kind of midway through the year was I decided 4K was really important to me because I wanted to future-proof my channel. I wanted these videos to be viewable years from now, so I could, because some of the videos that I make aren't timely. Some of the videos that I make are something you could watch 4 years from now and still get an education from. So I went to the Panasonic Lumix G7 because I found a good deal on it, and it had 4K, and the video that I saw from this camera was beautiful on YouTube. And so I was like, well, I'll just get a Panasonic Lumix G7 and I'll make some YouTube videos with it. But what I didn't realize that Canon had the best autofocus, period. When it comes to video, the autofocus, the dual pixel AF, the dual pixel autofocus is the industry standard that everybody's trying to meet. So, you've got some Sony cameras that are pretty good at autofocus, but they would overheat. And I'm in Nashville and it's 100 degrees out, and I talk a lot. So I can't have a camera that just only records 5 minutes because I usually end up talking more than 5 minutes. So, but the Panasonic Lumix G7, I would waste a lunch break on making a video because the focus would go in and out. But then I was like, well, I'll deal with it. And it looks like we're about to get rained on, so this might be cut short, guys. But so Canon just released this EOS M50, which, it's not what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted dual pixel autofocus in a 4K camera, and this camera does not deliver that. But I have a Canon M6 and I have this Panasonic Lumix G7, and I feel like if those two cameras were combined, then you would have the EOS M50. So the test today is to figure out whether or not the Canon EOS M50 can do the same thing that my Lumix G7 can. And if it can, the M50 is so tiny. It's plasticky. It's light. It's versatile. And if it does as good a job as this Lumix G7, then I'll be okay. So here's a scenario that I'm in all the time, guys. I'm sitting at this very table, with leaves in the background, and I can see that it knows where my face is. So I'll be anxious to see, like when I throw my hands up, or when I talk about something, or I'm anxious to see on the Canon M50 whether or not it's still going to grab my face, because that's the most important thing for me in my videos, is that you guys can see how dead sexy I am. So, no, I'm just kidding, guys. But it's very important, because the Lumix G7, I would move my hand, and and all of a sudden I couldn't focus on me anymore. So I'll be anxious to see between these two videos which one stays in focus better. If the Canon EOS M50 without dual pixel autofocus can execute this shot and a couple other shots that I'm going to put it in today, then the Canon EOS M50 is hands down going to replace my Lumix G7. Okay, guys? And that's not, hey, I know everything about cameras, you should listen to me. But as a one-person crew YouTuber that goes outside and records video all the time, that's something that is very important to me. So, and if you do videos like this where you sit down at a table and all it does is need to know where your face is, and this video looks good enough, then the EOS M50 might be good enough for you guys. It's a cheap camera. It's not that expensive. It's tiny. It's one of those cameras. I took pictures with it over the weekend of my daughter's recital, and those pictures were beautiful. So it's a great photography camera. And if you're just doing 1080, then the EOS M50 is perfect for your YouTube channel. And it definitely is an upgrade to the current camera that I have. But it's going to start raining, so we're going to move on to the next shot. All right, guys, so here's another scenario. So most of the time, and it's raining right now, so I'm getting wet for you guys. But here's another scenario where I generally will stand somewhere and I'll fly a drone. So most of my shots and most of my production is done on a tripod. It doesn't really move around. And I've got a DJI Osmo. Yeah, I've got a DJI Osmo that I can do a lot of my B-cam shots with stabilization and all that kind of stuff. So super crazy, crisp, super smooth stabilization isn't a big deal to me. So my Lumix G7 is on a tripod right now. My Canon M50 is on a tripod, and I'm standing out here talking to you guys. So let me know if I'm in focus on this shot. Is this good enough? Because if this is good enough, then you can easily successfully run a YouTube channel with this camera, because most of the time it's going to be on a tripod anyway. Is it the best for vlogging? I don't know. So I'm going to, and a lot of people that are testing out the autofocus are like they're like moving crazy. I'm not going to do that in my videos, guys. So I noticed that so I've got it on auto right now. So we've got different things happening, but I want you guys to know if in this shot, am I in focus? And I think I am. And the camera's kind of far away from me, but if I'm recording audio on my person, then I don't need audio from the camera. Or you can use, a radio or Wi-Fi transmitter for your audio or stuff like that. But most of my audio nowadays, guys, is going to be a lapel mic. So, and it's going to be on a voice recorder on me. So audio is not a huge deal breaker for me. So let me know if this is a good test, guys. I mean, I'm watching it follow my face. I don't know if I'm in focus or not, but it definitely knows where my face is. So this is about as much as I'll ever move. Okay, guys? And if it's focusing on my face, if I move my hands down here, it's pulling focus from that point right there. So what do you guys think, guys? Keep the Lumix G7 or move on to the Canon EOS M50? It's got a lot of flack, but these little mirrorless cameras don't have to do everything. But the Canon system is so point and click, easy, takes care of most of the things for me. My Lumix G7, it takes some skill to get this shot. I've got zebras on, I've got focus peaking, I got all this crap going on my Lumix to get a good shot. And from what I see on my screen, my EOS M50, this is just auto video mode. So, on my lunch breaks, when I only have 15 minutes to eat, a half hour to make a video, and then 15 minutes to get back to work, I don't need to spend 5 minutes setting up my equipment. If this works just like my Canon M6 did, all I did was hit record, guys. And most of my videos turned out great. So, what do you guys think? All right, guys. So now this is kind of a low light situation. I'm looking at the screen on the M50. It looks great. And it reminds me of a lot of my videos that I would make with my M6. So I feel like all they did was take the M6, was the perfect camera for me. The only thing it was missing was 4K, and they added 4K in it. So hopefully, and the reason I'm excited about this, guys, is not the fact that they left out dual autofocus, but what excites me is I feel like it's a forecast of things to come. And everybody on YouTube is complaining about this marketing decision or engineering decision or whatever the decision was, that they didn't put dual autofocus in this. I feel like by Christmas time, they're going to come out with a camera, and this is just me. I don't know anything, guys, but this is just me. Hopefully they're going to listen to all these videos and come out with a camera that will be awesome at Christmas time. All they have to do is add dual autofocus, and I won't need another camera for a long time. So the fact that I said that may mean that they don't put it in there, but I'm not going to buy another camera from Canon until they put it in there, so maybe that will help. But because I mean, this camera's perfect. I can add lenses on it. I can zoom. I can put wide angle on it. Now, a lot of people are complaining about the crop factor, and so what I've done with the Lumix G7 is I've zoomed in a little bit so that we have the same crop factor. But guys, literally, I'm 2 feet away, maybe 3 feet. So I'm 3 feet away from my camera, guys. What do you think about this crop? I don't think the crop's a huge deal. I think the only time I think the only people that will be affected by the crop factor are people that are holding the camera in their hand. Okay? So a lot of vloggers, you know, sitting at a table, you know, sitting at the coffee shop with it tripoded on their table, looking at them. I feel like those are the only people that are really going to be affected, guys. But, you know, I've never paid attention to whether I can get a wide angle shot or not. In my office for web streaming, I think that'll be a big deal because my computer's, you know, my camera's going to be really close to my face, but I don't know that it has to be a big deal. You know, all of my productions are me standing in front of the camera like this and talking. So I don't feel like that's going to be a huge deal. So yeah, guys. So this is it for this video. I'm going to do a full review, unboxing, and that kind of thing a little bit later on this camera, because I really feel like it's going to be my camera for a while. And if this test today proves to be a good test, and I can actually get good quality 4K video out of this tiny little camera, and my face is in focus the whole time, if this test here works, then I am going to sell my Lumix G7. I'm going to sell my M6 because I feel like this is straight up an upgrade from my M6. Yeah, and then I can take that money and go buy something else. But I hope you guys like this video. Please like, subscribe to my channel. I don't know which one to look at. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. So that's it for this video today, guys. So this is kind of a comparison between my Lumix G7 and my Canon M50. And the decision that I'm trying to make as a user is, does the limitations on the 4K matter to me on the Canon M50 or not? Because if it doesn't matter to me, then this camera is perfect for me, because my M60 has by far been my favorite camera that I've ever used, and the only reason I'm using the Lumix G7 is because it has good 4K, but the 4K goes in and out of focus. So if the Canon M50 has the same in and out focus, then the Lumix G7 doesn't have any benefit to me anymore, because I got 4K with bad autofocus, and I already had that with my Lumix G7. So what I liked about the Lumix G7 was the fact that it didn't overheat. So Lumix G7 doesn't overheat. I'll do a overheat test on the Canon a little later. But yeah. So please like, subscribe to my channel, and put in the comments below if this test was good for you or not. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and peace out, guys.